Open world games can be overwhelming, sure, but the best ones are the kind you want to get lost in. Huge maps, crazy stories, weird side quests, and beautiful landscapes, you name it. Today, we're counting down 20 open world games that do everything right, from epic fantasy worlds to sprawling modern cities. These are the games where wandering off the main path isn't a mistake, it's basically the point. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is that perfect blend of nostalgia and chaos that makes you both scream and smile at the same time. You hop back into Cloud's boots, or hair, and suddenly the world feels bigger, sharper, and full of secrets you didn't even notice in the original. The cities are bustling, the landscape's gorgeous, and the combat is fast, flashy, and just chaotic enough to keep you on your toes without feeling unfair. And yes, the story hits hard. Emotional beats, shocking twists, and moments that make you want to sit down and actually process what's happening, even if you know half of it from the OG game. The side quests are equally tempting, full of random encounters, little treasures, and characters that feel alive enough to make you care about their tiny, weird lives. Every corner encourages exploration, every fight feels meaningful, and somehow, even when you're just wandering around checking out the scenery, you're invested. Rebirth is the kind of open world-ish JRPG that reminds you why you fell in love with this series in the first place. Big, dramatic, beautiful, and impossible to put down. Let's do this. Hogwarts Legacy is the closest any of us are ever getting to actually going to Hogwarts. And honestly, that's probably for the best, because half of us would not survive a single defense against the dark arts lesson. Wandering around the castle feels like exploring a giant medieval Instagram filter. Moving staircases, secret doors, ghosts that judge your fashion choices. The whole thing is a playground. Then you step outside and boom, full open world, giant spiders, cursed ruins, and friendly NPCs who definitely want you to do their chores. The funny part is how easy it is to forget the main quest because you're too busy collecting every floating page like it personally insulted your family. It's one of those worlds where every corner whispers, "Hey, you want to waste an hour doing something unnecessary?" And the answer is always yes.
Loyalists will always fight for You shall know mercy of the cursed. We shall know today.
Ghost of Tsushima is that game where you start exploring and suddenly your life turns into a samurai documentary. The wind literally guides you like some spiritual GPS, and the whole island is so gorgeous that you take more screenshots than actual fights. One minute you're slicing through Mongols, the next you're following a golden bird because, ooh, pretty. And just like that, you forgot where you were going. Then Ghost of Yotei shows up and makes everything somehow even more beautiful, like the art team woke up and said, let's flex harder. What makes these worlds feel magical isn't just the visuals, it's that weird pull to keep walking. Fields, cliffs, bamboo forests, you just want to see what's behind the next hill. It's immersive in a way that quietly kidnaps your free time. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the only open world game where doing absolutely nothing feels like high-level gameplay. You'll hop on your horse to do a single mission, but then you see a legendary animal, then a stranger arguing with a tree, then some guy who needs help chasing his stolen hat, and suddenly 2 hours disappear like you got robbed by time itself. The world is so ridiculously detailed that even skinning a rabbit feels dramatic. NPCs remember your crimes, your horse has moods, and the weather changes like it's trying to win awards. It's a world that doesn't rush you. It just lets you exist, wander, fish, hunt, or get kicked in the chest by a random buck because you weren't paying attention. It's the slowest, most immersive, most accidentally hilarious game you'll ever get lost in.
If you ain't gonna be civilized about this.
The The Witcher 3 is the game that ruined side quests for every other RPG. You go in thinking, I'll just do this quick mission, and suddenly you're knee-deep in a soap opera involving ghosts, cursed objects, angry villagers, and a goat named Princess. The world feels alive in that slightly unsafe medieval way where every forest looks like it's hiding trauma. Geralt walks around like a tired dad who just wants to take a nap, but the world refuses to give him a break. Monsters, contracts, drama, more drama. Exploring the swamps, cities, and islands feels like being dragged through a never-ending binge watch of medieval chaos. And the crazy part? You enjoy every minute. It's the kind of open world where you don't just get lost, you willingly stay lost because the stories are too good to leave. Cyberpunk 2077 is the only game where you open the map, stare at Night City for 5 seconds, and immediately forget what you were planning to do because something shiny caught your eye. Every street feels like it has a side hustle going on. Some guy selling junk tech, another guy screaming about conspiracies, and a random NPC who looks like they haven't slept since 2013. After the updates, the world finally matches the vision. Dense, chaotic, glowing, and full of questionable decisions. Driving through the city at night with synth music playing makes you feel like you're too cool for real life. But then you crash into a vending machine and remember you are, in fact, you. It's a world that doesn't just let you get lost. It practically begs you to wander into trouble with zero preparation.
I'll make you
Kingdom Come Deliverance is the game that says, hey, what if being a medieval peasant was actually hard? And the world agrees. No dragons, no magic, just mud, hunger, and people who look offended by your entire existence. Exploring Bohemia feels weirdly peaceful though. Forests that look real, towns that feel lived in, and NPCs who absolutely will snitch if they see you stealing a carrot. The sequel doubles down with bigger areas, smarter NPCs, and more ways to embarrass yourself in public. It's an open world that punishes stupidity but rewards curiosity, which somehow makes it funnier when you try to act like a hero and end up falling off a horse for the 15th time. It's immersion at its best, chaos at its most natural, and one of the easiest worlds to sink hours into without realizing it.
Come on then!
The pillory's too good
Fuck
for you.
you!
I'll chop you up on the spot.
Death Stranding is the only game where delivering packages across a ruined world somehow becomes more emotional than half the movies you've watched. The landscapes are quiet but massive, like the world is daring you to keep walking even though your back looks like you're carrying every Amazon order in your country. The first game hooks you with that lonely, calming vibe, and then Death Stranding 2 walks in and says, let's make this even weirder but also prettier. You spend hours hiking, slipping, yelling at rocks, setting up ladders, and occasionally being dragged into ghost sludge because you took one step wrong. And yet, it's relaxing? There's something magical about exploring a world that feels empty but meaningful, where every cliff and river becomes a mini adventure. You don't just get lost, you get zen. Spider-Man 2 is pure movement therapy. Swinging through New York is so smooth that fast travel becomes disrespectful. The open world pulls you in with its just one more swing energy. Side missions pop up, random crimes go down, and you forget what you were doing because a glowing collectible on a rooftop suddenly feels urgent. The city feels alive, from crowded streets to skylines that look straight up desktop wallpaper worthy. Switching between Miles and Peter adds even more fun because each one moves differently, so half the time you're swapping just for the vibes. Even when you're not doing missions, just gliding, flipping, and zooming around feels like the real game. It's the superhero version of taking a walk to clear your mind, if your walk involved beating up 12 criminals and posing dramatically on buildings.
Some jerks are trying to break into that building. What? Did you lose your keys? Happens to me all the time.
No Man's Sky is basically the universe asking, how lost do you want to be today? Every planet is its own strange little ecosystem, sometimes beautiful, sometimes deadly, sometimes filled with creatures that look like they were designed at 3 a.m. on no sleep. The best part is how unpredictable everything is. You land thinking you'll gather a few resources, and suddenly you're scanning weird animals, repairing your ship, escaping a storm, discovering alien ruins, and somehow building a base even though that wasn't the plan at all. Space travel feels infinite in the best way. Jump to another star system, get distracted again, repeat forever. It's the definition of an open world where curiosity is the real quest, and getting lost is not just expected, it's the whole point. GTA 5 is the ultimate, I swear I'll only play for 10 minutes game that laughs in your face as the clock jumps forward 3 hours. Los Santos is basically a parody of real life, except more chaotic and somehow more believable. You hop in to do a mission, but then you get distracted by a stunt jump, then a random argument between NPCs, then a mountain you suddenly feel like climbing, and boom, your plan is gone. The world feels alive in that messy, unfiltered way, where every street has something stupid happening that you can't ignore. Even after a decade, the city still finds new ways to make you laugh, whether it's pedestrians saying weird things, physics breaking, or you accidentally starting a police chase because your car lightly tapped a fire hydrant. It's a world you don't explore, you just exist in it and let chaos take the wheel.
Holy moly!
Get the fuck out of the car!
Ah, shit.
Horizon's open world is like National Geographic, but with robot dinosaurs who absolutely want to fold you like a lawn chair. Zero Dawn starts you off in this wild, colorful landscape full of ruins and giant machines watching you like you owe them money. Then Forbidden West comes in and upgrades everything. Dense forests, deserts, beaches, underwater areas, and robots that get way too comfortable chasing you across half the map. Exploring feels natural because every direction you pick looks like a postcard. You say you'll just check that question mark on the map, and suddenly you're hunting machine parts, solving some ancient tech puzzle, and fighting a creature that definitely wasn't supposed to live underwater. It's one of the few open worlds where curiosity is rewarded and punished at the same time, and somehow that balance makes it addicting. Days Gone is the game where you think you're just taking a nice motorcycle ride through Oregon, and then a horde of zombies sprints at you like you owe them rent. The open world feels surprisingly peaceful when nothing's trying to eat you. Forests, small towns, abandoned camps, and long roads that make exploring feel like a chilled out road trip. But the second you hear that distant scream, the whole vibe flips to, nope, absolutely not. The world grows on you because it feels rough and worn out, like everything has a history. You end up scavenging buildings, helping survivors, and constantly repairing your bike because Deacon rides it like he's trying to break it. It's the kind of world where doing one small task somehow turns into an hour of chaos. And honestly, that's the charm. Origins throws you into ancient Egypt and basically tells you, walk wherever you want, everything's interesting. And it's true. You've got deserts that look endless, cities buzzing with life, temples full of secrets, crocodiles minding their business until you disturb them, and pyramids that practically beg you to climb them even if there's no reason. Bayek fits perfectly in this world. He's calm, cool, and constantly getting dragged into other people's problems. Exploring feels natural because every corner has something worth checking out, even if it's just a random villager yelling about a lost goat. The scale of the world is huge, but not the overwhelming kind. It's the, let me wander for a bit and see what trouble I find kind. It's easy to get lost, but honestly, that's the best part. Arkham Knight gives you Gotham City on its worst possible day. Rain everywhere, villains running wild, and Batman acting like he hasn't slept since 2005. Exploring Gotham at night is weirdly relaxing though. Gliding between rooftops, diving into the streets, and hearing criminals panic because they swear they heard something. The Batmobile adds a whole new flavor, letting you zoom around like a tank on wheels, accidentally crash into everything, and then pretend you did it on purpose because you're Batman. The world feels packed but not overwhelming. Every street has something happening, from thugs starting fights to Riddler acting like he wants attention more than actual world domination. It's an open world that blends atmosphere, action, and skincare level amounts of rain, making it way too easy to lose track of time. Skyrim is that one game where you tell yourself, I'm just gonna do the main quest, and suddenly it's 4 hours later and you're collecting cabbages, adopting kids, shouting dragons out of the sky, and somehow married to a random NPC you met in a tavern. It's the ultimate open world distraction machine. Everywhere you go, something bizarre happens. You walk into a town, boom, a dragon attacks. You climb a mountain, a troll throws you off it. You pick a flower, congrats, that flower starts a whole quest line. The best part is how Skyrim never judges you. Want to be a stealth archer? Of course you do, everyone does. It's basically the game's unofficial religion. Want to roleplay as a wizard who keeps accidentally setting villagers on fire? Go for it. Want to ignore destiny entirely and just steal cheese wheels? Totally valid lifestyle choice. Skyrim doesn't care what you do, it just keeps handing you adventures like a chaotic roommate who's convinced, you'll love this, trust me. And honestly, they're right. Elden Ring drops you into the lands between like, good luck, you'll need it. The world is enormous, mysterious, and full of monsters that look like they crawled out of your sleep paralysis. You wander in one direction and find a castle, wander another and find a dragon that clearly didn't get the memo that you're underleveled. The best part is how the game doesn't tell you anything. You just explore because everything looks suspiciously interesting. You'll ride past some ruins thinking, I'll come back later. But of course you won't, because 5 minutes later you've been distracted by a random cave that turns into a full-blown boss fight. It's a world that doesn't hold your hand. It slaps your hand away and tells you to figure it out. Getting lost feels natural because the entire map is a giant "what's that over there" simulator. Fallout 4 throws you into a wasteland that's equal parts depressing, hilarious, and somehow relaxing to explore. You walk around picking up every piece of junk like a raccoon with a shopping addiction, telling yourself it's all for crafting, even though you don't remember what half the materials are for. The Commonwealth is full of weird side stories. Robots starting revolutions, raiders arguing about sandwiches, and that one Deathclaw who always shows up when you're low on ammo. The world is broken in the best way, with ruined buildings, hidden vaults, and creepy radiation zones that make you question your life choices. What makes it easy to get lost is how every location feels like it has a history, even when it's just a collapsed shack with a skeleton and a diary that absolutely goes harder than it needed to. Far Cry Primal is what happens when you take the Far Cry formula, remove all guns, and ask, what if everything wanted to eat you? The Stone Age world is wild, colorful, and filled with animals that do not care about your plans. You'll be exploring peacefully when suddenly a saber-toothed cat decides your lunch. The world constantly distracts you. Tribes fighting each other, rare animals to tame, caves hiding weird paintings, and fire spreading way farther than you meant it to. It's the type of open world where simply walking from point A to B turns into a full survival arc involving crafting new weapons, fighting off wolves, gathering plants, and forgetting what A and B even were. It's chaotic, immersive, and way more fun than prehistoric life has any right to be.
Hey, I'm dead!
MGSV is the open world where every mission feels like a sandbox full of toys you're not mature enough to use responsibly. You drop into an enemy base thinking you'll be stealthy, but 5 minutes later you've attached balloons to everything, set off 3 alarms, and somehow still completed the mission. The maps, Afghanistan and Africa, are huge and open, giving you too much freedom for your own good. You scout, plan, sneak, and then completely ignore the plan because you saw a truck and decided to Fulton it. The world is built around experimentation, and that's what makes exploring so addictive. Every outpost is a puzzle, every patrol route a suggestion, and every successful escape a miracle. It's the kind of game where getting lost isn't a mistake, it's part of the fun.
Hold on!
And that's our list of 20 open world games you'll gladly get lost in. If you end up diving into 1 or 10 of these worlds, don't say I didn't warn you. You might lose track of time, discover crazy side quests, or just get completely obsessed with the scenery. Drop a comment and let me know which world you'd get lost in first. And if you enjoyed this list, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.